Good morning everyone, and it's great to be back fishing at the Freeway Dam. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. I first started fishing this Freeway Dam last year. I came out here yabbying and it was mostly unsuccessful. I just caught two, but I caught a little redfin in my yabby net. So I came back out here fishing and I started catching a few carp and a few redfin. I haven't been here for a while. In fact, last time I was here, the water was right up over the bank and behind these trees. It wasn't just full, but it was flooded. It's gone down a lot now. I don't know how it's going to fish, so I'm going to throw a couple of lines in and see how I go. Right, the first rod's rigged up. It's a running sinker rig. It's the JD Rods custom rod. A running sinker rig with two Jan-Juck worms. And I'm going to put that out there in the hope that I can find a hungry redfin. Rod number 2 is my really short little 1 metre long rod with a paternoster rig, and I've got 3 corn kernels on there. I'm just going to put that in here in the shallows. That's the carp rod. Right, now both rods are in, one with worms, one with corn. It's time to play the waiting game. Let's make the call. What am I going to catch today? My guess, what time is it? It's 8:15. I'll probably sit till about 11:30. I reckon I'm going to catch 1 carp and that's it. That's the call, 1 carp. I reckon it's going to be very slow, but I reckon I will catch a carp. Getting a bite on the worms. It's on there too, I reckon. Got him. Oh, it's got to be a big carp. If that's a redfin, that's a bloody ripper. I was getting wet and then I realised that my chair was wet. It sat outside in the all night in the dew. It wasn't dripping wet, so I didn't notice, and I was sitting on it for a while and I'm thinking, why do I feel so wet? Anyway, this fish has taken the worms and it looks like a big old mud marlin. My guess was that I was only going to catch 1 fish today, and I've only been here 10 minutes. So if I end up only catching 1 in 3 hours, I've got a pretty boring couple of hours coming up. Righto. Come on, mate. Very pale colour. I'm on the board. I'll get a quick photo on the worms, the Jan-Juck worms. Right, I've got 1 on the board. The running sinker rig and the worm combination. I'll put that back out. I wasn't out all that far. I don't want it out too far. So it was about there. While I'm here, I'll check the bait on the corner in case I had a nibble while I wasn't watching. And that hasn't happened, because the corn's all still there. Oh, getting another bite. Just about to sit back down. I reckon he's on there, that fish. Oh no. No, he's still there. I've only been back in about 2 minutes. That might be a redfin bite, this one. Got him. Only small fish. Oh, I missed him. Look at the swirl out there. Here we go. Here we go. The running sinker rig again. And surely. Got him. It's only a small fish. It's got to be a little redfin, doesn't it? If it's a carp, it's a small one. It is a little weeny redfin. And I think he's hooked a bit deep. Right, 2 fresh Jan-Juck worms on, and I think that after, if I catch another fish now, I'm going to put myself on rations and go back to 1 worm. I've got about a 900 pounder on here. There's actually, what's on here? It's swimming. I threw my line out, then I dragged it in. It's got to be a big turtle, but it feels too heavy to be a turtle. I cast my line out, and I thought I might just move it, and I was dragging it in and hooked a snag, but then the snag started swimming. It's got to be a turtle. It's way too heavy to be a turtle, unless it's a giant carp, but it's not fighting like a carp. That was really weird. You didn't get to see the hook up. It's fighting like a giant turtle. Maybe it's a turtle covered in weed, perhaps. I didn't even get a bite. Maybe I foul hooked something. the hell? I'll be so disappointed if I don't get to at least see what this is. Coming over here near my landing net and near my other rod. It was really weird. I didn't even get a bite. No, it's got to be a carp, I reckon. I didn't even get a bite. I just cast my line out and I thought I might just throw it out a metre or so further from the bank. I reeled it in and I got snagged. So I yanked and then the snag started swimming. But look at how much it's got to be a huge carp, doesn't it? Now it's starting to swim around a bit. I really want to see what this is. If I lose it after I've seen it, I'm okay with that. But if I lose it before I see it, I wonder if it's like a 70 or 80 centimetre carp, like a massive carp. I never even had a bite. I wasn't striking a bite or anything. I was just reeling it in to recast it, and it got snagged. So I walked down there to try and pull the snag from the other side, and then this happened. So to keep my eye on my other rod here. I don't know what's going on. It's a very heavy fish. It's not fighting like a carp. Oh, it got off! After all that, it got off. Can you believe that? I am heartbroken. That was a massive fish. That was a truly enormous fish. I don't know what it was. That was so bizarre. That was so bizarre. I never even got a glimpse of that fish. And I never even had a bite. This is what happened, right? I'll show you what happened. I threw my line out like that. And I sat it down here and I wound the slack in. And then I thought, no, I'll cast it out a bit further. So I went to reel it in like this and it stopped. So it just stopped dead. I snagged. I pulled a few times. So I couldn't get it off. I was almost about to snap the line. And I came down here to pull the snag from a different angle, and then suddenly the snag started swimming and it was so heavy. I put it straight back out there where it was, although I'm doubting very much that it will come back. Oh, there are worms happening today. Another bite on the worms. I just sat down. I just put it back in. The moment I sat down, got a bite. Seem to be getting lots of bites as soon as my bait hits the bottom. I've just put a fresh worm on there. I'll cast it out and I'll stand here and hold it for a second. There we go, something's taking up the slack. Something's taking up the slack and got him! It's amazing how often they hit as soon as the bait hits the bottom. Yeah, it's a school of these things. Hooked way too deep, mate, you're in trouble. I'm going to have to euthanize you. Tiny little redfin. I suspect that's what's hitting my bait as soon as it hits the bottom with every cast. Here goes the worms again. Another little weeny redfin to be my guess. And got him. And I reckon I'm right. Another tiny little redfin. A little bit bigger than the other ones. Right, so I've caught one carp and 3 small redfin and lost an absolutely massive fish. Oh, there's a bite on me worm there now. I wonder if that big fish that I lost, which I can't stop thinking about, I wonder if it was a big carp, but not only just a big carp, got him, not just a big carp, that a big carp that I'd foul hooked, because when you foul hook a fish, when you hook it in the stomach or the tail, they always feel a lot bigger than what they are. So I bet it was a big heavy carp and it was foul hooked, a bit of both. Oh, this guy's hooked too deep as well. This is the I might be able to get this one out actually. So this is the downside of fishing with a running sinker rig. I've got it out. Mate, you're the only one I've got to let go today. See you later, mate. Oh, off he goes. I've caught 3 redfin on this one worm. I'm going to leave it on, a little bit of worm skin left. So I reckon that big fish was a big carp that was foul hooked. Right, I've just put a fresh worm on a single worm because I don't want to feed all of my janjuck worms to a school of tiny redfin. The relaxing sounds of the Freeway Dam. Just had quite a big bite on the worms. It was a bigger bite than all the others. Giving a bit of a bite on the worms there again. It's all on the worms today. Got him. Another tiny redfin. Oh, he got off. Got off right there. It wasn't very big, whatever it was. I'm suspecting it was another tiny redfin. Oh, there's a nibble on the corn. A rare corn bite. Haven't caught a fish on the corn all morning. Had a couple of nibbles on it. There's something playing with it there now. There it goes. Boing. Fish on bite on both rods here. I've got a fish on here. I have two, you know. Look at that. Probably been sitting there for a little while I tried to hook the fish on the corn. And just like the other one, he's hooked quite deep. Well, the ones, like all of them, he's hooked quite deep. I'll show you now. Nice little redfin, but his health is in jeopardy. Did I just get a nibble on the corn again? Yes, I did. Something swimming with it. Something swimming with it. I got this one. Got him! The first fish on the corn all morning. That's a little carpio, as expected-io. Now, carp number 2. I think I'm up to about 5 or 6 small redfin. On the little short little rod. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. That's my first fish on the corn for the whole morning. Everything else has been on worms. Right, I'll put my corn back out where it was, which was just out there. Now I've got to put some fresh worms or a fresh worm on my worm rod, but what I'm going to do, I'm catching heaps of small redfin just out there. There's obviously a school out there. I'm going to cast it out deep. I'll probably lose the school. I probably won't get many bites, and it could mean sitting here for ages without getting a bite. It could mean I don't catch any more fish, but who knows, it could mean that I might catch a big one. You just don't know. So I'm going to try something different to get away from the real small redfin. I'm heading out where the water is much deeper. The redfin are much bigger. Right, I've gone out deep. I'll go out further. Let's see if there's any larger fish lurking out there. Something's got my worms way out there deep. Got it. Well, I wanted to catch a bigger fish and I've done just that. I'm pretty sure it's not a big redfin though. Pretty sure it's a big carp. Not as heavy as that big kahuna that I lost earlier. Could be the same fish though, it might have been hooked in the guts before. Alright, maybe not as big as I first thought. Come on, fishio, there it is. It's bigger than the first carp that I caught earlier. It's got nothing on that big thing that I hooked earlier that I lost. Yeah, the plan paid off. I was catching heaps of small redfin over here, just in the shallows. I couldn't keep my worm on the bottom. The moment I put it in, I was getting bites straight away. So I cast out deeper to get away from the school and try and catch a bigger fish, and it worked. I'm having an absolute blast here at the Freeway Dam this morning. Where's me landing net? I'll put it in the water in position. Just got to keep my eye on my corn rod here just in case. Got to keep my eye on my corn rod, Justin. Just in case a fish grabs it and tries to pull it in. Righto, mate. You're getting tired. You're getting sleepy. Yeah, I don't think he's quite ready yet. He's a bit pale in here because of the sandy coloured water, and he's ready. Got him! I'll get a quick pick before putting him to sleep. Right, I've got the same worm on, but I've put a fresh one on with it, and I'm going to go back out deep again. Something's just playing around with my corn here. Missed it. Big bite on the corn, big bite on the corn. Just had a really big bite on the corn. I wouldn't mind betting that fish has got the corn actually. That was too big a bite for it not. Oh no, the bait's still there. Something's playing with that. Oh, there was something on there then. There is, I got him, a real little one. Well, no, not as little as I first thought. He just happens to be swimming towards the bank. But he is still little. They are little. It's only short, but very fat. That's a goldfish. That's either a hybrid goldfish carp cross or it's a goldfish with the shape of it. And the funny head. It's got no whiskers, no barbels, which European carp do have. Folks, I've caught a goldfish on corn. I'm going to be heading off shortly. I might just put my my worms over this side for a bit before I go for their last hurrah. Look at my little corn rod. I'm getting pulled in. Oh, it's gone. Something was on there and I missed it. Well, before I started fishing this morning, I made the call. I was going to fish for 3 hours, and in that time I was just going to catch one carp, and it was going to be really slow. In actual fact, I only fished for 2.5 hours. I caught 2 carp, 1 goldfish, half a dozen redfin, and I lost a couple of other fish, including an absolute monster. What an awesome action-filled morning I've had out here at the Freeway Dam. Thank you all very much for watching.